now, right? The time is now. So I've been doing these masterclasses. If you haven't seen the others, go ahead and check it out on my Facebook page. My name is Mahima Klinger, and you can see the other topics there live. So I wanted to come on here, and I'm a self-mastery mentor. For those of you who don't know me, I am, I just turned 49 years old, and I have been on this journey of transformation for over 2.5 decades. I started my journey when I was 22 years old. And my journey started with an experience of transformation. That means I experienced a life-changing shift that got me to see the world in a different light. And I saw the world from a place of internal self-awareness. So understanding that what you think and feel is really in your hands. We're not victims of our thoughts and our feelings. Unfortunately, most of us, many of us, let's say at least, if we say there's 8 billion people on this planet, I would say 99% of us have not received any emotional development training, right? So we've gone through school and we've become educated on a mind way. That means that our mind is very activated. Like we learn how to study on a mental way, but we, in that process, lose the connection to our emotional development. So what happens is we get a mind education, but we feel disconnected from ourselves emotionally. So what's happening in the world today is getting people to see that when they are left on their own, like because we don't have those external stimuli anymore, we are kind of forced to go inward. And then we understand, the impact of not having that emotional development training. So now more than ever is a time for us to understand we need to come together as a human race and figure out how can we give people more training on how to operate in their highest integrity with everything that's happening in their lives, right? So I don't know if some of you know this, but because of, let's say, the fear and the anxiety that's happening, I've heard things like there is a lot more like physical, emotional, and abuse happening in families and so forth, because they're not used to being together in the kind of space that we are now being forced to be together with each other. So we're used to operating very much as, in a way, separate entities, right? You have the kids or your parents, your parents, you're operating in the household, but everyone's kind of living their own lives. But now in this situation, we're kind of forced to be together. We really get to see ourselves and what we're working with internally in a new light. So, as a personal growth mentor, as somebody who has spent my, whole adult life dedicated to exploring human consciousness and, asking powerful questions that get people to unlock some of the, let's say, internal wisdom that they perhaps have become separated from and didn't even realize that they were separated from it until a crisis happens, like this crisis, right? And then we're forced to examine how we are showing up in ourselves emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. So I kind of want to ask you out there, what is the thing about yourself that you would love to transform? What is the thing about yourself that you would love to transform? What have you come to realize about yourself during this time that you feel, now if I could, respond differently, if I could activate, like, is it the way you're expressing yourself emotionally? Yeah. Is it the way you are, treating your body, treating your, like what you eat, the choices you make, your health? Is it like, what is this crisis actually showing you about you? Because that's such a great opportunity to get to know yourself and transform yourself. Because let's face it, there is a lot of us have more time on our hands than we normally would have. And I would say that instead of using that time to sort of just do the sort of ordinary things like cooking, cleaning, which by the way it's a lot of fun. Nothing against that, and I've been definitely doing my own share of spring cleaning during this time. What about doing the internal work of doing some inner spring cleaning? Yeah, like working on developing yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So I want to know if you guys are connecting with this, if you are with me understanding this conversation. So for some reason, I don't see what's happening on Facebook Live. I cannot see any comments here, where I'm sure there are some comments, but for some reason I can't see them. On Instagram, I see Jorgen is waving at me, and Caroline, nice to see you there, Angel. And yeah, so I want to encourage people to use this time to do the internal work that we normally think we don't have time to do. So what could that look like? That could look like developing a personal growth practice if you do not have one already. And if you do have one, how can you up level it? How can you maximize and go even further? Because a lot of us, if you're on this call and you're listening, you're already rocking some kind of personal development work on yourself, because that's why you're attracted to this conversation. But the question I would have for you is, how could you disrupt your, let's say, personal growth journey to even take it further and take it to the next level? What would that look like? What could you be doing to even more accelerate your growth during this time? Right? So I'm just here to pose some questions and, maybe get you to reflect a little bit deeper. What could you be doing to accelerate your personal growth? What would that look like when you come out of this stronger, wiser, better, right? What if this time was actually a gift to really unearth your talents, to think about your purpose? What am I doing here? What's this all about? Am I really living in alignment with my talents, with my vision of myself? So what if we use this time as a retreat to go inside and do some spring cleaning internally, right? So let's see, Evelyn is saying, yes, you've changed my life. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you so much, Evelyn, for letting me know that. Because, we sometimes we don't know the impact we're making when we do these things, right? We just, speak from our hearts, we share our wisdom. So, Evelyn, thank you for, letting me know that this has impacted you. Corita is saying, I would like to not let outside sadness affect my inner peace and effectiveness in working towards my goals. So Corinta, one thing that I would advise you for that is to do some kind of a detox in what you expose yourself to from the outside. Because this is a choice. We do have a choice. We do not need to be watching the news every day and reading every 5 minutes or, every 3 hours, going and, seeing what's happening. Like we've kind of got it now. And I find that giving yourself the opportunity to detox on, reading about the news is really healthy. So I would highly recommend you to take some time to say, okay, I'll check every 3 or 4 days if there's something new, because I personally don't read the newspapers at all. I feel like all the information I need comes to me. And it's really true. I don't even go seeking for it. People will tell you stuff. You will hear stuff. There's no way that, you can avoid it. But I also don't want to be blasting my system with that, on a daily basis, 24 hours. So you get to choose. This is the thing that I really want to encourage people to do, to not let what other people are doing or not doing influence you. Give yourself permission to show up in this crisis how you want to show up for yourself and for the world, right? So it's a great opportunity to understand we've got to work together, but this is an internal journey that you've got to do alone. Nobody can do this crisis management, for you. Like, we all have to go through this by ourselves. So yes, we are together trying to contain the impact of this virus, and we've got to work together for that. But the internal journey of dealing with what this means for your life, this is a solo journey. Yeah, no one can take that journey on you. Now, can you lead and inspire and provoke and create and hold space for others to be able to go more gracefully and with more ease onto this journey? Yes, of course. But we still have to do the internal work ourselves. So I want to encourage you to keep on giving yourself permission to think what you want to think, feel what you want to feel, and be who you want to be. Now, this is one of, we do different things. We do like a 3-day retreat where we get together with people from all over the world. And, it's a 3-day event that goes from morning till night. We hack people's systems and help them to start understanding that they are in control of their own lives, regardless of, even though it looks like, oh, do I really have control over this? Do I have really control over that? The answer is yes, you do. You have control over your individual thoughts, feelings, and actions, right? Nobody can have that control over that. You can decide what to think, you can decide what to feel, and you can decide what to do. And so it's very important to take charge of that so you don't feel like a victim, right? To take charge and take control of what you can influence, right? To take control of those thoughts, to take control of those feelings, and to take control of those actions. And nobody else is in control of that, right? It doesn't matter what the media says or doesn't say. It doesn't matter what the virus does or doesn't do. It doesn't matter what people do or don't do. You are in control of what you feel, what you think, and therefore how you act. And I want to encourage you to take charge of that. Now, you may say, I'm repeating this. I said it the last time. Yeah, and I'm going to keep repeating it until it sinks in, because it's called freedom. The freedom to be who you want to be in this world and not allow, other external circumstances to affect who you want to be, right? Now, of course, we have to have compassion and feel, empathy, to feel love, to feel care about what's happening. And again, that shouldn't have to affect you negatively, because I think being negatively affected and, let's say, going deeply into those feelings and getting depressed, getting angry, feeling hopeless, confused, afraid, is not going to be helping, first of all, the people around you that need you in your ground, in your center. And it doesn't really help the situation either. So I'm more in the mindset that the more we can inspire lift ourselves up and be the leaders that the world needs, which is leading by example of your vibrational frequency. Yeah. And that means being able to elevate yourself and others during this time, right? Elevate by being focused on being grounded, focused on being centered, focused on opening your heart and knowing that, you know, you may not be able to control what's out there, but you can control what's happening in here and taking control of that. I want to inspire you to communicate better with yourself and others. Communication is the key to being an effective leader in the world. The communication with yourself starts with a loving, respectful voice in your head. So, and that comes from doing powerful things like meditation, visualization, self-reflection, gratitude diary, changing how you see yourself. That work cannot be avoided. And now more than ever, it is important to be doing that work of changing the internal dialogue in your head, right? And you guys know, if you're on this call, you know that voice. You know that voice. And if that voice is full of fear, if that voice is getting more and more angry, if that voice is blaming, if that voice isn't empowered, it's going to eat away at your well-being, and in the same time crashing your immune system, because that negativity does tend to take a toll on you physically as well as mentally. So that's why we're not like, I'm not the positive rah 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 type of self-empowerment, self-mastery mentor. I'm more into grounding, ground, feet on the ground. That's why I call the name of this masterclass, the power that now is the time. Now is the time, right? Because a lot of us think we know what's going to happen, what may happen, what may not happen. And the truth is, nobody knows what's going to happen. You can theorize, you can hope, you can wish, you can we can have all kinds of ideas about what this all means for us moving forward and so forth, but we don't know. We have no idea. This could be one of the best things that's ever happened ever in the history of humanity for all of us. It could be. I'm just saying it could be. It could be. It could bring us into a new state of awareness about how we're living life on planet Earth. And it could bring us to changes and shifts that we could only have dreamed of in the past. Okay, let's say this could get into a real disaster zone where we really screw things up, right? It is my experience that even in my own life, I've really screwed things up, and I've come back stronger. I have come back wiser. I've come back as a better version of myself. That's when you're in that growth mindset and understanding that whatever's happening is actually a perfect storm for your growth, for your transformation. So we don't really know what's going on. So my advice is breathe, ground, start living in the moment. Start living this moment. Really bring all of your heart, all of your love, all of your juiciness into this present now, and start to connect with yourself and others from a place of love, from a place of respect, from a place of joy. Start redesigning your life and thinking about how can you impact this world positively. Bring your focus out of the past, out of the future, into the present moment. Breathe, ground, elevate your spirit. Take this time as a personal retreat. Even if you're living with your family, you have your kids, you have your husband, announce to everybody, this time I'm going to use to become a more powerful, grounded, happier, centered version of myself. Yeah. And I invite you to be on this journey with me. set up something like a gratitude circle that you do every single day with the people that you're living with. Take a moment, just breathe. You don't have to call it meditation. You don't have to have any fancy name, and just get each one person to express what they feel grateful for, and just hold that space for everyone to express their gratitude. Come together and talk about what you want to create in the future. What are the dreams and aspirations that maybe you were so busy surviving instead of thriving that you forgot to ask yourself, what do I really want out of life? Take time to listen to your heart. What do you really want out of life? What does life mean for you? What do you want to transform? What do you want to create? Yeah. What are you going to do today, now, that's going to allow you to elevate? So that's my whole message. Elevate, elevate, elevate. Breathe, grounding, open your heart. Understand that you have no idea what's going on, and you've never known what's going on. There's just the illusion of knowledge, especially when you read all this crap. Everyone thinks they know what's going on. But the truth is, nobody knows what's going on. All we know is what's happening right now, right? And right now, you have two choices. You can lean into your negativity, or you can lean into your positivity. And even if you lean into your negativity, you can choose to stay there, or you can choose to release it, visit it for a short amount of time, release it, and come back to center, come back to grounding, right? So I'm wondering if anyone has any questions for me about any of these things, those topics that I brought up here, right? I would really love to hear from you. Is there anything I could support you with as you're going through this somewhat, or let's say extremely challenging time? Is there anything that you're wondering about regarding your personal growth, regarding your ability to show up more powerfully for yourself and for others, right? Because I really do believe that this is the opportunity to do that. Yeah, to do that work of up-leveling your communications with yourself, up-leveling the communication with the people around you. And what does that look like, up-leveling the communication with the people around you? What about pouring into people in a way that previously maybe you didn't do, right? So really being present, first of all, being fully present with people, really listening to them, and seeing if you can be a catalyst for them being able to relax, to release, let go, and find peace in themselves during all of this external chaos. Maybe, that's why you're listening to this. Maybe that's why you're interested in this, because, maybe there's a higher calling on your purpose here that you haven't previously really listened to. Are you one of those people that are here to transform and help others during, and not just now while the crisis is on? Maybe it's beyond this crisis, but now's the time to own it. Now's the time to claim it. Now's the time to show up to that leadership, right? I keep saying this over and over again. The world needs new leaders. The world needs new leaders. It needs people that speak from their heart. It needs people that are grounded. It needs people that are ready to step up and lead people away from fear, lead people away from thinking that they don't have control, that they're victims of the external circumstances. Whereas the truth is we're all contributing to what's happening into the world in some form or shape. And so if we take control of our contribution, maybe we can contribute something more impactful and beautiful. So that's what I have to share, guys. I think I'm going to call it a wrap. I don't see any questions, which is really a pity. I would love to, to support anyone with any questions, but don't see any. So I think I'm going to leave it here, and just encourage you to share your voice out in the world and don't let, I don't even want to say don't do it. I don't want to use the don't. Let me come at it from a different way. I want to inspire you to use your voice and elevate, elevate, lift people up, lift yourself up. Yeah. Do the inner work. Just do it one day at a time. Bring yourself back to love. It's your birthright. Bring yourself back to center. It's the place where you can operate with more energy and more power in the world. Bring yourself back to freedom, freedom from suffering, from negativity, from hatred, from confusion, from fear. You have the birthright to be free. And it all starts with working on your inner world. Freedom is your birthright. My world changed so much when someone taught me that. Now I want to be the bearer of that message for other people. Freedom is your birthright. You get to choose how you want to show up in this world. And I'm asking you to show up with as much grace, ease, and love and joy. Thank you for listening. Love you all. And I'll see you again. I'll just come on here and share the wisdom that I have, and hopefully somebody needed what I had to share, and it's impacting you to feel like you can go out there and share more of your beauty. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. I have to figure out how to end this. Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.